Good morning. Can you please tell me how we can reduce waste impact on our environment?
Good morning. Yes, sure. As you are aware, SSG is certified to ISO 14001 2015 Environmental Management System. We are committed to providing our customers with a high-quality service whilst reducing the impact of our activities on the environment. Our EMS programme focuses on the environmental issues closely aligned with our business and geared towards improved environmental performance throughout all our offices. I would like to show this video, which covers various topics.
You may go to work every day in an office, a school, hospital, shop, indeed whatever building you work in. Dealing with waste is a big issue. This short film will give you a brief introduction to dealing with waste issues in facilities management, or FM as we call it. We're going to look at the following things. What do we mean by waste? How we deal with waste? What to do if you have a problem? And how good waste management benefits your business. So what is waste? When we think about waste, you might think about the things that end up in the bin. However, this is not the end of the story. The waste you throw away can cost your business through the extra materials they have bought, the inefficient use of these materials, and their disposal can result in damaging impacts to the environment. Reducing waste improves efficiency and reduces these harmful environmental impacts. When we are managing waste efficiently, we use a set of priorities called the waste hierarchy. The waste hierarchy is a way of thinking about waste, and this is how it works. Prevention. Our number one priority should be preventing the waste in the first place. For instance, do we actually need that item, or can we do without it? Reduce. If we can't prevent the waste, then what we can do is minimize it as much as possible. If you see something that seems wrong or inefficient, it's well worth speaking up. Reuse. Can we reuse any of the waste we produce? Can things be reused in your own business or somewhere else? For instance, reusing packaging or donating old furniture. Recycling. Do we ensure that the waste we cannot reuse is properly recycled? It's very important to not contaminate our recyclable waste, for instance by mixing food waste with paper for recycling. Energy recovery. Do we ensure that any waste which cannot be recycled is used for energy recovery? There are lots of processes now that can capture energy from burning or digesting waste under controlled conditions. And finally, and only when all else fails, disposal to landfill is the last resort. Next, we will look at how we deal with waste, looking at segregation and recycling. Frank, I'm conscious that since winning the new contract with SL Acker & Sons, that all their waste is going in one bin at the moment, including recyclables like plastics, metals and cardboard. What are your thoughts?
Well, we're obviously not allowed to do things like burning the waste because of the smoke. As far as I know, all the waste we collect just gets carted off to landfill. It's what they've always done.
Yes, burning waste is a definite no-no. In fact, if you burn waste, you can release pollutants which harm your health. It is also illegal under the Environmental Protection Act 1990 and could be subject to 6 months in prison or a £20,000 fine. Landfilling waste also isn't great because it costs us money and results in impacts to the environment.
Which makes me think, at my last job we had a really good waste segregation system, using clearly marked bins which allowed us to recycle the waste. We could easily do something similar here.
Okay, good idea. Let's work together to get our waste segregation sorted out. This should make it much easier for us to recycle what we can and avoid cross-contamination. Cross-contamination of waste is a significant issue which can result in waste which might otherwise be recycled being sent to landfill. For example, we should put boxes in the cardboard bin, cans in the metal bin, and banana skins in the food waste bin. Things can change with hazardous wastes such as fluorescent tubes, ink cartridges and old paint tins. It's important to make sure that hazardous wastes are disposed of in the appropriate hazardous waste bins. If you're unsure, check. Often things like toner cartridges or paint are taken back by manufacturers in the take-back schemes, so if you're in any doubt, ask a supervisor to make sure you know about any special requirements like this. Great! I think that's waste segregation covered. What are your options for recycling? Well, the plastic bottles you've got will be shredded and sent back to the manufacturing plant for reprocessing. We send all the metal away for resmelting, and a similar thing happens to the cardboard. It's all part of a concept called the circular economy, in which wastes are reprocessed and used again. There's literally thousands of examples of this, from turning waste coffee grindings into fuels, to reprocessing unused and waste paint back into new through take-back schemes, old yoghurt pots into plastic wall panels, and making printer ink from recycled products. If you have a problem with waste, the golden rule is to stay within the law. If you're unsure about anything, talk to your manager or the relevant person before it gets out of hand. However, as we just heard, not all waste problems are to do with the law. We want to reduce waste as much as possible for several good reasons. Here's an example that shows what can be done. Hi Errol, why are you throwing all those pieces of plasterboard in the bin?
Hi. Well, they come in these big sheets, you see. Our work instruction says that we have to cut them down to fit this wall, but then these scraps are useless. Doesn't seem right to me.
Oh, by scraps do you mean those pieces over there? They look pretty big to me.
Yep, I guess you could say that. The problem is that most of them are too small to use elsewhere on this job.
But isn't that adding hundreds of pounds to our material and waste disposal costs? Not to mention the time and effort it is taking you to cut them down.
For sure. The problem is, this is the only size they come in. Hang on though. We're ordering a lot of these. Do we have any influence with the supplier? How about you give them a call to see if they can supply them in the correct size?
Good idea. Also, I happen to know that Donald over in Building 2 will be doing a small plastering repair job next week. I'll ask him if any of those offcuts would be useful. We could also keep some of those larger bits in the storeroom. It's always useful to have a bit of stock for repairs. Thanks, Errol. So, what can we learn from Errol's waste conundrum? Don't just accept the status quo. If you notice a wasteful practice, think about how you might be able to solve it. Don't be afraid to innovate, and don't be afraid to speak up. Think about how you might be able to influence suppliers. You are their customer after all. Talk to your colleagues to get their opinions. Your contributions are extremely valuable, and everyone's opinion is important. It's important to remember your actions can help really improve waste management in the building you work in. This will benefit the business you work for in the following ways: improved efficiency, jobs done better and faster, money savings, improved relationships with customers, and reduced environmental impacts. As a next step to this module, spend a few minutes thinking about the waste you deal with in your working day. Commit to making a few small changes.
I hope you understand, and you can also go to SSG Employee Portal to view this video.
Thank you.
Have a good day.